Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Let's see how market behaved today and what was our discussion yesterday. So yesterday we had marked this supply in 15 minutes and this was a supply which I had marked in 15 minutes yesterday, and I told if market gets a tap here, then we probably can short the market and take it down lower. But I'll show you what happened eventually today. We, as expected, market did open a small gap up within our range. The first 5 minutes itself, it pierced the supply and went up and came down. Okay, so what does this mean? I have told in my previous discussions, in our previous trade recap also, that if this happens, then I will look forward for a supply and enter again, right? But it is inside the supply itself, right? So how can I enter here? There is no point of entering here. Where will be my stop loss? So I just wanted to see a proper structure shift in the market. Had this move did not happen, had this move happened like this way, like it came here, tapped it and started moving down, then I would have immediately entered in the market and targeted a very big target also, as discussed in the video. But looking at these two candles in first 5 minutes itself, it was very clear that market was in a confusion. Why was the market is in confusion? Market was reacting from a supply. From a 1 hour supply also it was reacting. It gave a change of character. But today, since it's a new year, there is a positive momentum in market. See, if you see the news also, Indian shares start 2026 marginally higher. Everywhere, every people was expecting this year will give them prospective news or a happy news or a growth in their news. So the overall sentiment of the market is positive from a news perspective, but from a chart perspective, it is negative. Understand this point very clearly. So this leaves us like these kind of a range bound market. This is what happened today. If you see here, it was completely range bound. So I wanted at this point, I wanted a closure below this level. So if I get a closure, then I was thinking I will start to look for pullbacks and to take the market at least till the swing point of yesterday. This was what my thought process was. I was thinking like I cannot go for an extended target having the sentiment from the newer perspective. As yesterday's discussion, we had said this will be our target if market pulls down faster. But looking at these candles, I was pretty sure that market will not give a faster momentum, right? So candle printing, the way the candles are printing is very, very important. Okay. So what does this leave us? I was just waiting whether we can get a closure. So as and when I got a closure here, if you see here, if this was a last candle before yesterday's closing, right? So market pierced this also, but it did not give a closing. So that is fine. So this gives us a clear trade at least for today. So what is a clear trade? I will just delete this supply which we had marked yesterday. So this gives us this supply which is open, right? So this supply is open. This demand is invalidated. So what does this leave us with the target? The target is clear cut this swing point. This was what my trade plan was. This is how the clarity you should also have during the market hour. So if the market comes back and retraces and gives me a tap in this particular supply, I can target this as my target. This was what my thought process was. And I was just waiting if I can get a tap back to the supply. Market came back, slowly it came back and it tapped our particular supply. So I was just patiently waiting whether if my target gets filled and if I can close the trade position for today. So market did give a very, very small reaction, very, very small move, and it eventually hit the target here. So this is how your trading plan also should be. This is the clarity you should have when it comes to trading. New year has started. Make sure your losses are very less in the market when it comes to New Year or in the upcoming year. See, after this is completely sideways. There is no point in even trading. So this is what we call it as a range liquidity. What does range liquidity mean? There is liquidity from the top side. There is liquidity from the bottom side. Bottom side is being swept every time, but no closures are being received and market is trying to move up. From top side, sellers are giving pressure and trying to make the market go down. But from bottom, buyers are stepping in every time when the market reaches here. and trying to push the market higher. Also, today is a Sensex expiry. So because of that, Nifty is also being dragged into sideways. That is the reason I had to close this trade and not look for extended target as discussed yesterday. This is more than enough for me for today, and I am closing my screen for today. See, the contract which I had entered, it gave me close to 40 to 45 points for this move, which is more than sufficient for me for today. That is a mindset you should have. Don't be greedy in the market thinking like today itself I'll become a crorepati, tomorrow itself I'll buy a bangla. Nothing of the sort will happen in market. It is a slow exponential process. Understand this? It is a very, very, very slow exponential process. Today you can make X amount, tomorrow you can make a little bit more than X amount, day after tomorrow a little bit more. That is how the progression will happen. One fine day, if you keep following the process, if you keep understanding the market, if you keep learning from the market by doing proper back testing, by doing proper studying in the market, understanding structure, where the liquidity is, where can be my entry point, where will be my SL, where will be my target. If you have these things clear in the market, you can easily make money on a daily basis. I'm not saying your SL will never be hit. The probability of your SL also is will be hit sometimes, but when your SL is hit, you have to make sure that the loss is very minimal. When your target is hit, you have to make sure that the profit is bigger than your losses. Always make sure that risk to reward is more than 3. That will make sure that you are always in the winning position. If you take 5 trades and you end up losing 2 trades or end up losing even 3 trades, even if you make 2 winning trades, you are still net to net up. That is how risk to reward plays when you target more than 3. So anyways, wish you guys a happy new year. I hope you guys have a profitable year ahead. Let's meet in the next educational video. Thank you so much for watching.